All right, so another heartbreak. Let me tell you what happened. So, of course, I have to get ready to get dressed and go out. So, as I'm getting ready to get dressed to go out, as soon as and again, I have to let y'all know what tears are because it hurts and it hurts. It's not like the breakthrough is what tears are saying. Tears through the smile because it hurts to make an attempt to let me just tell you what happened. so so I came out and I felt better because I'm getting ready to get dressed to go, and I decided I'm not gonna do my hair because sometimes it's better if you don't do your hair every day because just to let it naturally do whatever it does. And so so I came out and I went into the bathroom to brush my teeth, and so I hear the owner and um, the young lady came out and said something to him about an email, whatever, that she sent him. I mean, I guess he has some health issues or something, and he must have shared them with her. And so I was like, okay, the way that I'm feeling is that I don't want to kind of put myself in a situation where I'm feeling blocked off or anything like that. So, like I said that I would, um, I just asked him, I said, hey, if there were three things, you know, three things that you would change about me, what would they be? And he was just like, oh, um, um, no comment. And I'm just like, well, you can feel free. It's just a method of self improvement. And he was like, everything's fine. I don't. If I need to consult with you about anything, I'll let you know. If I have a problem with you, I'll let you know. I said, no, it wasn't about a problem. I was just like, no, I just wanted to know, it's just about me improving myself, And I told him, I explained to him that sometimes you don't have an opportunity, when you are amongst people, and I told him I had a lot of respect for him because he's a homeowner, because he's a little bit older, so he's and been around different people, places, and things. And I mean, it hurt me to my core. Let me tell you. So I was like, and it's not, I don't think there's a problem or anything like that. I just wanted to know what were three things that you would improve about me. You know, And he was just like, oh, he kept saying no comment. And I was like, okay, and that was at first. And then he was just like, oh, if I had a problem, I would tell you. And I was like, no, I'm not speaking on problem. I'm just saying just about self improvement because, as a, as a, other people's opinions are important. And as a homeowner and as someone that's been around a little bit, you know, your opinion could help move me or motivate me. And I'm going to tell y'all this too. So, a couple of things that and he just went into no, everything's fine. If there's a problem, I would tell you, but it wasn't about a problem or anything. It was just real snippy, you know. So I was like, okay, well, because evidently, he was gonna take that into the negative. So I was like, well, if you could tell me three good things about me, what would you tell me? And then he's like, oh, don't force me to do anything. I was like, oh no, I'm not forcing. I was just asking, you know. And he just got loud with me, so I was like, okay. And I left it like that. I wish I could have recorded the conversation, but it broke my heart. I mean, because and the way that he did it was like he um he came out to the door, and the other girl came around to the back. And when she came around, it was like, and he was making it so that he was just like really closed off to me. And so she was watching, and listening, to see what was going on. And she went out to the side to where she could hear through the side window because the windows are open. And, he was trying to make sure that she heard, So whatever it is, I mean, to me, it's sad. I mean, it's just, and I'm just gonna try to be as open as I as I can about this, and I'm gonna try to be as open as I can about it, and just include everything, And so that's the way that I felt, maybe because again, this, it's a that's what happened. Now, if I could tell you about, like, I mean, why I think that is, like I said from the beginning, he just didn't like me. Um, and that's, on, his part, why it happened, on my part, on why it happened, on his part, but on the way I had, where it happened, reason that it happened on my part is that, I think that I'm continuously, again, looking for people to step into their roles. I feel like if people are older, if I mean just a small thing like an opinion. And let me tell you, y'all already know if you watch some of the past videos, some of the things, regarding the household or whatever. But another thing that I noticed, like with this room, I had asked about, you know, he had a bookshelf or something that he wasn't using, and I asked him about it, and he was like, "No, that's my daughter's bookshelf." And I was like, "Okay." He was just real sharp about it. I didn't think anything of it. And then he had like movies and stuff, and he was sharing it with the other lady, the young lady. And I was like, okay. And I noticed he didn't really say me in particular, could view, but I just kind of hopped in there. And with the books and whatever, I went and and I noticed that when he moved the shelf, he turned the books so they all faced a certain way, so you couldn't see the titles. I was like, wow, that's kind of, snippy. But coincidentally, I found a lot of similarities and things like, as I was glancing, at the books on the shelves, everything that I'm into, like languages and all that stuff was there. And so his daughter was taking all those things. And so I happened to look at one of the books, and that was the personality book that I was looking at. And it was so weird to me because these were things that could have really been helpful to me. He didn't mention, didn't offer, didn't anything. Matter of fact, turned it the other way so that it couldn't be seen. And so, I don't know. And it's just so odd to me because I just happened to be like on the internet, and what I saw was, I saw the young lady, his, I guess, daughter or whatever. I happened across it, and it's so coincidental to me because, um, I happened upon one of her vlogs or whatever, and she was saying how her mother disowned her because she was too open with her information, and that's another reason, like a side reason, the legal thing I think is the cause of it all, but a side reason that my mom disowned me, and she liked to show off, and when I was in shape, I did too, and I have like 10 years on her, and coincidentally, our birthdays are like in the same month, like literally days from each other. So just a lot of irony, and I don't know, it's just so weird that, I mean, with all the resources that he has, and when I say resources, I mean mentally, learning, education wise experiences, not even something small like that. And what's gonna happen now is because he got loud with me, the girl is gonna go back to him, and probably the other lady, and be like, yeah, he had to yell at her and such and such and such. So I don't know. I mean, it's just, I want good things, and I want a good environment, and and maybe it's just too many similarities. Like I said, he's Asian and my mother's Asian, and like I remember, I mean, it's just a lot of things, different, question marks and things that could be, added to it. And maybe, he wants to make sure that everybody knows that there's no type of relation. So it's like, maybe that's what the situation is. But it is hurtful. And, I have to admit it. And it's one thing, like if there's just a person that's renting here that's treating me a certain way. But when the owner treats you that way, wow, you know? I mean, what do you do? And I don't want to go to work feeling sad, feeling low in any way. So I have to keep my spirits up, and it's intentional. So it's intentional. I just have to face it. It's intentional. It's meant to cause damage, and that's what it's doing. And I'm at a point like right now in my life where I'm trying to build. And in order for me to build, just like when we're little, we have to have lots of encouragement and lots of outside reinforcement, And I guess it's out there. I just got to work towards it. And it's like, and the thing with the other job, I'm gonna call it job one, and job two. Prospect number one, the one that I said everything was good and professional. That could be a situation if I get in, when I get in, where I might have a group of people that are around me that, care and that are supportive and that are loving. Job number two, if I get in, that lady was hating the whole way. She was doing things that, and both of the information, like I said, could be helpful to me, but it's the way that people do things, and it wasn't in the spirit of help. It was in the spirit of nastiness. Like, how could you survive for 10 years and blah blah blah. So I have to work harder at loving myself because there's not a whole not a whole lot of love out there for me, and there's not a whole lot of positivity that I can kind of grow off of. So I have to do my best. And again, in everything that I do, I have to be thankful. So I have to say thank you. Nama, say thank you for being so honestly and openly rude. Even though you didn't say directly, but honestly and openly rude, honestly and openly willing to make me feel a certain way about my presence and who I am, and to honestly and openly put that out there for other people to feed off on. And that was one of the things that I mentioned too. And I said, the reason that I'm saying this is because I don't ever want there to be a situation where anybody has a reason to say anything negative, about me. And he just blew it off completely. So that's part of, I guess, the relationship and bond that they have. And again, in all honesty, it hurts. I don't like being hurt. I don't like being in a situation where negative things are being said about me or to me, you know. So I don't want that. I don't like that type of um I don't like that type of thing at all. I guess one of the things that I could do is to, kind of make my presence known, like stay out in the open area, and if there's something and I hear it, just jump in, you know, because the point is this, either you're gonna kick me out, you know what I'm saying, and be so rude and nasty to that point where that's what it is, or you're gonna try to be civil about it. So I don't know, but you can tell me, what your opinion is and what you would do. And I think, like the common sense version would just be to find something else. But I don't like to give up. If he puts me out, then that's something different. But I don't ever want to feel like that. I don't ever want to feel like that at all. So so that's just what it is.